True.
All right. Look, have you ever dated someone that expressed love language that you did not appreciate? Yeah, I can go first. Did not appreciate.
Hmm.
Yeah, actually. There was this guy who I was dating. I'm not gonna say his name, it's not even worth it.
Okay.
But um I love physical touch, but for some reason from him in public, it was way too much. It
Oh.
was my husband, my husband, my husband. That kind of
Oh.
like love language,
Oh.
too handsy, walking in the mall, wanting to put their hands in my back pocket, like just too much. So the question was, have you ever dated someone that expressed a love language that you did not appreciate? My love language is physical touch that I like to give, but I like to do it in a tasteful way that makes sense. And as long as it's mutual, absolutely. But for
Mm.
some reason with him, it was way overdone.
Do you think it's because you didn't like him that much, or
I think a part of it could have been that, but it could have been that. But at the same time, I felt like even though I do like to be touched, I felt
Mhm.
like he was doing it way too much. But you could be onto something because I think if you like the person, if you're really into that person, when they express a love language, no matter what it is, you're going to eat it up.
I was just about to say that. So, if I can just kind of make a point to what you're asking about, imagine me not being into physical touch at all, but a person that I don't like or I'm over touching me too much.
Yeah.
It would definitely not be appreciated.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be tenfold, you know?
Mm, turn off.
Yeah. Have you
Mm.
ever experienced that before? And the question is about dating someone, so, or or a married, whatever the case may be, but a romantic relationship where they express the love language, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, and gifts. Something that you just didn't appreciate. You thought it was just inappropriate or you didn't like it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say an act of service. Like they'll try to do something for me and it's just like too over the top.
Hmm.
Um
Or showed up at your job or
oh
something
my
like
God,
that.
stay out of my effing head.
I knew it
I'm
was gonna
like,
happen tonight.
if somebody would try to bring you lunch to work and just like, why would you do that?
Hmm.
I don't know. And I think it's super important to understand your partner's love language because you don't want to keep doing stuff for them that they don't appreciate. It's it's it frustrates the person who it's happening to, and the person that's doing it feels like they're not appreciated.
Right.
But the issue at hand is you're not understanding how to apply certain love languages
Yeah.
or how to apply something that makes sense for the other person.
You're not reading the room.
You're not reading the room. You're not.
Yeah, I dated somebody back in the day in New Orleans, and I was working at Lakeside Mall. And I remember I used to like it at first, where, the guy who I was dating would just show up to my job. I was working at, a retail store. And, it's to like drop off a little something on the way somewhere.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, all right, that's so cute. He was thinking about me.
Mhm.
But then after a while, I'm like, is he coming here to check on me? To come see if I'm like flirting with somebody else
Yeah.
or like observe me and watch what I'm doing, like a psychopath or
Yeah,
something.
let's get some things cleared up now.
Yeah.
Unhand me.
And I still don't have the answer to that. But like I
Mm.
started to like look at those things from a different perspective. It's like, what is your intention behind it? Because if your intention is truly to surprise and delight your partner in a way that just makes them feel really good, they might start performing better on their job and have an amazing day for the rest of the evening.
Right, but if you read the room and you see that that's not what it is, then don't do that no more.
Right, right. Or you show up at the wrong time. Maybe you show up when
Yeah.
they're busy or covering the front end or whatever, just a scenario. But yeah, I override. Unregistered 5.
You let me hit this wick.
I need a manager on register 7.
Reshop on 6.
Me no. Me no, baby. Me no.
It's so busy in here. The line's long as hell, and you done popped up in here
With flowers and candy. Girl, they gonna think we stole this from out the floral department.
Oh my God. I can't remember what movie that was, a sitcom where somebody took the flowers from somebody and hit him across the head and petals was everywhere. Like one of them situations. Then you gotta clean up on aisle 6.
Right.
Lord. Definitely not reading the room. Don't do that.
Oh my God. Well, let's go to the next question. Tell me about a time when you had to adapt to someone else's love language.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So pretty much, I'll give you an example. I'm not a physical touch person. Y'all should know that by now. Y'all, if not, y'all haven't been reading the room. But if my partner
Do you know
likes
why?
to, I don't know. I've never had any weird situations or anything like that.
I believe, and I know we're kind of like, but I like to I like to dig into things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it could be because of the lack of early on. And so maybe it wasn't normal for you for so many years that it's just like, oh, okay, I'm not a physical touch person.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true. That's true.
hmm
That makes sense. We can actually scoop into that
I think,
at
yeah,
some point.
that's a good little
Yeah.
nugget to chew on later.
Man, them nuggets earlier was good too.
I know, extra crispy.
All right. So so it's verified that I'm not a physical touch person. However, if my partner is, or if that is their love language and it's a way that they like to receive love, I've had to adjust to be a little bit more giving with touching. Um as far as it could be something as more embraces, hugs, like rubbing his head or caressing his face or more kisses or something like that.
hmm
You can't totally shut it out, even though it's not my thing to receive. If it's my partner's thing to receive, then I have to be willing to adjust a little bit and give a little bit more as far as the physical touch piece. Or because I keep talking about the physical touch stuff. Um, let's see. Acts of service. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think I've had to adjust with that as well. It could be something so simple as me just going into the kitchen and whipping through it like Molly made.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? And my husband appreciates things like that when I get in and just, you know, get in there and just dig in. The kitchen looks completely different when I clean it. So my act of service to the house, would be to
Okay.
give the kitchen a really good cleaning. I mean, it's something simple. Everybody's kitchen need to be clean, but it's
Right.
just different when mama clean it. You feel me?
Right. Yeah, I have an example,
Okay.
and let me see how I can explain this without going too specific. But
Mhm.
I was dating this guy, and
Another one?
it's only men after high school. I remembered like an ink pen exploded in his car on the seat, on the
Mhm.
fabric.
Mhm.
And you know what? This is not an example of me having to adapt. This is an opportunity of recognizing when I could have adapted,
Oh. Okay.
right? Because I think that me joining him to help him would have made him feel better about the situation. Because he was very upset about me not helping him helping him to clean something up that I thought was a one-man job. But that's the example that comes to mind because sometimes you have to look beyond what this person is really upset about, because it could seem very simple to you,
Mhm.
but it goes back to love languages. I believe everything really goes back to love language, honestly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's one example. Jared, my ex, his love language, I mean, I talked to him last night actually.
You did?
Yeah.
I love Jared.
I love him too. His love language was gifts. Like he would be that person who would surprise me with a gift, or he wanted to like buy me a computer or something like that.
Well, hold on, because remember, the love language isn't how you give it; it's how
Mhm.
you need to receive it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
is his gifts too?
Well, yeah, I was about to say I've had to adapt and recognize that I needed to do that. That's what he was telling me he wanted.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what he liked, but he was showing it. So sometimes you got to
Mhm.
recognize a person might be showing you one thing,
Yep.
but they're
Because that's
not.
what they need.
Yeah, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not even communicating that that's what they actually want in return. So
Mhm.
just that's the adaptability in a relationship and what love language I'm referring to.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, I've had to do that a few times before. So I mean, I think after so many relationships, not that I've been like passed around so many times or nothing like that, but
Like a
um
40.
but I think after a while, after some experience under your belt with relationships, you start to recognize, oh, okay, this is what that meant. This is what this was about.
Yeah.
And so then in new relationships, you're able to move forward and adapt a little bit faster,
Yeah.
like you're doing right now.
Accelerating quickly.
All right.